Welcome to Meet JMT, Insights from Within, a series that introduces our industry professionals and provides them the opportunity to share their professional experiences, personal reflections, and sources of inspiration as individuals working in the architecture, engineering, and construction sectors.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another Meet JMT podcast. My name is Jennifer, and I am your host and digital marketing manager here at JMT. In celebration of Professional Engineers Day, we are shining a spotlight on Susan Sprague. She is a bridge inspector based in our York, Pennsylvania office. Susan, thank you so much for being here today. Would you mind telling our listeners a little bit more about your position here at JMT?
Thank you for having me, Jennifer. In short, I perform bridge inspection duties, both field work and report writing, mainly performing the quality control review of the reports that JMT prepares and our subs prepare, making sure all the codings are right, everything's coordinated, and I do that review prior to our submission of the reports to PennDOT and Pennsylvania Pike. I have been a certified bridge safety inspector in Pennsylvania since 1988. And like you said, I am based in the York office now. Prior to this, I was based in the Hunt Valley office as a project manager in the water wastewater department. I managed up to 20 different tasks for multiple on-call sewer rehabilitation contracts for Baltimore County, the City of Baltimore, and WSSC. Even though I was based in the Hunt Valley office, I still continue to help the York office with bridge inspections throughout that time.
Thank you so much for that additional introduction. Can you tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to choose your professional career as an engineer and bridge inspector?
It started in high school. After my junior year of high school, I attended a camp for girls that were interested in engineering that was held at Stevens Tech in Hoboken, New Jersey. My mom discovered the camp through a friend, and we thought it would be useful to help me find out what kind of engineering I would like and I should pursue. So during the course of that week, I settled on civil engineering. I determined that that was the best fit for me. Civil engineers spend a lot of time outside. We create a lot of large and small projects that serve the public. You can see them every day. So after college graduation, I worked for a general contractor and learned how a lot of different kinds of projects were built. Projects like machine foundations, parking lots, roads, and bridges. After 1 year at the contractor, I changed jobs and worked for a civil engineering consulting firm that also inspected bridges for the county of York in Pennsylvania. I started inspecting bridges basically from the first week I was there, writing reports, and found that I really enjoyed it. Knowing how bridges were built gave me a leg up on knowing how to inspect them. Inspecting bridges requires observing defects, documenting everything that you see, and then doing the coding and rating for each component. I really enjoyed the 3-week training course I took in 1988, and every 2 years I have to take a 3-day refresher course, and I still learn things at those refresher courses. I've really enjoyed being a bridge inspector my whole career, basically. I do not consider myself a structural engineer, however, but still a civil engineer with specialized expertise in inspecting bridges. I will add that my first boss is the one that got me active in my professional organizations, NSPE and ASCE. I served as an officer in NSPE at the local, state, and national level and met so many great professionals in all kinds of engineering disciplines. My service in the NSPE has also included being the chair of the NSPE Board of Ethical Review for 3 years. I want to add also that being active in my organizations is something that I learned from my dad, who seemed to spend a lot of nights attending meetings for his profession, which was industrial engineering. And I also take advantage of what I know from my organizations to try and educate the public on what engineering is.
Well, I think it's inspiring to hear that you are continuously trying to further your expertise and serve the public through these outside organizations. Moving into your professional career today, can you tell us about a significant project you've worked on and how that may have impacted you, our company, or even the AEC industry as a whole?
Obviously, as a civil engineer, I have many public works projects on my resume. But after thinking about it, I would consider that my 6 years of service on the NSPE Board of Ethical Review and 3 years as chair as being quite significant, because the opinions that we issued during those 6 years will be referenced by engineers and lawyers for many years, influencing and helping many engineers to make decisions in the future. The opinions that we write are based on everyday ethical dilemmas, conflict of interest or competency, things like that. And you can search the database and find a case on just about any topic you can think of. So my claim to fame is that I was the first woman and currently the only woman to ever chair the Board of Ethical Review. And I had to serve a third year as chair because in 2020, something called COVID hit. And then we also had the departure of our executive director and the retirement of our legal counsel kind of all happened within 6 months. So the president at the time asked me to serve a third year as chair, even though I had just been elected treasurer of NSPE. So I was doing double duty for a couple of years. The NSPE treasurer serves as not only the treasurer of NSPE, but of NICET and the NSPE Education Foundation under the umbrella of NSPE. I think I might have set some sort of a record for logging hours of Zoom meetings. I estimated over 500 hours just for board and executive committee meetings. That doesn't include the hours of preparation of each for about time period of about 15 months until my term as treasurer and Board of Ethical Review ended. So it was a lot of work. Fortunately, I could do most of it from home because of COVID. So it all worked out in the end, and I was duly recognized for really putting some time in for the profession for that year and a half. The treasurer position that I was elected to was supposed to be my bridge job for easing into retirement. My husband and I thought that might be a kind of a good thing to kind of ease out of my career, but I haven't fully retired yet.
I think it's safe to say that you've been making an amazing contribution and impact not only to JMT, but also to the engineering industry itself, being so involved in these many organizations and having the expertise to make decisions that will impact current and future projects as something that's truly inspiring. Are there any hobbies or interests outside of your work that you feel have really influenced your professional journey?
I would say that being involved in my organizations as a volunteer, I really did learn how to work on committees, chair committees, become a leader, and make presentations to my colleagues. I'm also been an Arthur Murray dance student for over 30 years, and I believe that has contributed to my having some poise and confidence while being in front of others. If you can dance in a really short dress for 20 minutes in front of a crowd, you can stand at a podium. I'm also a very avid sports fan. I ran track, played basketball for years, and continue to play golf, probably 50 rounds a year. I have 3 holes in one to my credit. So I would say that I know how to make a plan, I know how to practice, and I know how to compete as needed to reach a goal that I set.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. We like to end the podcast with some words of inspiration. So are there any closing thoughts you would like to leave our listeners with, or even, words of wisdom for those interested in becoming a professional engineer one day?
I would like to do that. First, I want to wish all PEs happy PE Day on August 7th. The first professional engineering license was issued on August 8th, 1907, and NSPE has continued to celebrate PE Day very close to that anniversary, usually the first Wednesday in August. We try to raise awareness about what it means to be a PE, recognize the work of licensed PEs, and show appreciation for what they do every day. Early in my career, at my chapter level, our stationery had a quote from Theodore Roosevelt at the bottom of it. It said, "Every man owes a part of his time and money to the business or industry in which he is engaged." So every time I would read that, it would inspire me, and it would remind me of why I continue to volunteer, and I'm proud that I have volunteered for my profession. I'd like to think that I've made it a little bit better. Licensure is a mark of a professional. It's a standard recognized by employers, their clients, by governments, and by the public as an assurance of dedication, skill, ethics, and quality. So the link to licensure and ethics is very important, and it's what NSPE is known for, developing and leading the way with the Code of Ethics. The first canon of the Code of Ethics is that engineers hold paramount the health, safety, and welfare of the public. So that's why licensure is important. In the end, I have made many presentations to college seniors about the importance of licensure and the process of becoming a PE. It's not something that's always covered in class, and the professors really enjoy having practitioners like me talk to the students. I encourage every engineering graduate to take the EIT exam and pursue PE licensure. It can't hurt, and whether you go into consulting, construction, or industry, PEs are necessary in all those fields. And you can't start your own engineering business without being a licensed PE. Since you never know where your career path may go, you might as well get it early and keep it current and have it in your back pocket. Like I said, it can never hurt to be a licensed PE.
Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed the Meet JMT podcast today. Remember to subscribe, post a review, and of course encourage your friends and colleagues to do the same.